Welcome to the Nutrition Mission Podcast.
This is where we're going to share information about nutrition and have insights into your own personal needs, as well as product information, as well as other information. You've got to be part of this nutrition mission.
This is the official Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market podcast. And we've been helping people live better lives since 1972. We're on a nutrition mission. Join us.
Hi, this is Starkie Sowers. Welcome again to another episode of Nutrition Mission, brought to you by Clark's Nutrition Natural Foods Market. Today I've got Jessica Q with me again.
Hey.
It's a good moment. You hanging with me a little bit lately?
Yeah, I love
Talked
it.
about hydration, a couple other different things, and now we're going to talk about female weight loss.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah,
It's different.
it is.
It is different.
Females think about food and we gain weight.
Did you know that females burn 10% less calories a day than guys? Isn't that like rude?
That's so
That's
not
like
fair.
that is so messed up, right?
It's not right.
So let me ask you this: what kind of car do you drive?
What kind of car do I
Yeah,
drive?
what kind of car do you drive?
A Porsche.
That's what I'm talking about. Porsche has what? 4 cylinders in it?
I think it's
That was a 6 cylinders, right?
6-cylinder, yeah.
All right. So what's your gas mileage like?
Yeah.
Now that gas prices are almost near like $6 a gallon, right?
It's like probably 22 miles per gallon.
Right.
Yeah.
So now if I brought you like, I don't know, like a Subaru YRX, right? Okay, and it's like got 4 cylinders in, what are you going to think? 4 cylinders, better gas mileage or worse?
Better.
Better, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be like in the 30s, maybe 35. I had a Passat one time, a Volkswagen Passat. That thing got me 35 miles to the gallon.
Oh, wow.
But it blew up easy and had all sorts of complications, so it
Yeah,
wasn't
a lot
worth
of
keeping,
issues.
right? All right, so now let's talk about physiques. Okay, we have what we call as a basal metabolic rate or basic metabolism rate, right? So that just means like if you just sat in the corner and just sat with a clicker and watched TV all day, you're going to burn a certain amount of calories.
Right.
Okay, the more cylinders on your body or the more muscle mass on your body, the more calories you're going to burn all day long. So what happens a lot of times with females, the first thing they want to do is they want to do aerobics and walk and do all these wonderful things. Cardio, because that burns fat. It does burn fat. The body does burn fat when you're doing cardio at certain paces, like not extreme threshold paces, like, running up the side of a mountain or something like that. And don't get me wrong, it still burns fat when you're doing that, but those long, steady workouts are great for burning fat or having the body burn fat as an energy source. But while you're at rest, if the muscle mass isn't there, believe it or not, you're not going to burn as many calories. So what we're going to talk about today, one of the number one things that females have a tendency to do is shy away from, like weight training and things of that nature. It becomes critical actually for helping to burn fat.
Wow.
Okay?
I've actually had a personal trainer tell me that.
Yep.
They said you need muscle. You want to have muscle on your body because it'll help you burn more fat.
Right. So just like the 6-cylinder car and the 4-cylinder car, the more cylinders you have on your body, which is the more muscle mass, you're going to burn calories all day long.
Nice.
Okay? So let's talk a little bit more about female fat versus male fat. So we all have hormones. We have progesterone, estrogen, testosterone.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's different fats, like for men and
no,
women.
No, there's not different
Like,
fats.
is it-
Well, there are actually some little tweaks, and we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
There's not different fats.
Okay.
Sorry, there's different hormones. My
Okay,
apologies.
there you go.
So those hormones.
This is really not fair.
Yeah, right. Now we're really jacked up, right? So there's hormones. We all have progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. Okay? Just different concentrations. That's what makes this uniquely male and female differences, right? So males have more testosterone, which helps you get leaner and things of that nature. It helps build muscle mass. That's one of the reasons why you get leaner, because it helps to build more muscle mass.
Okay.
All right? Females have less. They have more estrogen. Okay? Purposely, female physiques typically have more body fat, right? As the female physique ages, one of the things that happens is the hormone concentrations start to dissipate. So what the body likes to do on a female physique, when it starts hitting like in the ages of like 30 to 40 and 50, it starts changing those hormones. So what the body likes to do is likes to hold on to more body fat, because body fat creates estrogen.
That's why.
And so typically it happens right around the waist area and the hips area, and that's when the physique starts changing and tweaking.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Well, literally, I got it.
Yeah, right. But that's the tweak that happens, and what happens is it's the change. This change of hormones is one of the things that acts as a predicator for these body fat changes. Don't get me wrong; it's just how the physique was designed to be. So what we got to do is we actually have to kind of counter that work.
Okay.
All right?
So there is a way around it.
There is.
Okay.
All right, so here's what happens. When that happens, also what increases typically is insulin insensitivity. Insulin doesn't work as well. And so the body wants to store more of that visceral fat around the abdominal area. So what becomes critical is we want to make sure that we have plenty of fiber in our diet, because fiber slows down the entry of sugars into our system and actually helps to prevent us from storing those carbohydrates as fat. So critical stuff. I didn't bring a bottle with me, but my number one favorite one for this is PGX. It's made by a company called Natural Factors.
Okay.
And that stuff works amazing for belly fat.
Really?
Yes. Number one on the list.
Okay.
Didn't bring it with me,
Okay.
but number one on the list.
Okay. I'll stop at the store and grab some.
All right. So what I also, we're talking about different types of working out right now. You're telling me you're working out, you're sweating a lot. So you're actually increasing probably body temperature. That's the reason why your body's sweating, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to talk about the fat differences.
Okay.
All right. So we have different types of fats.
Okay.
All right. Specifically, we have what is known as a brown adipose tissue, and we have what is known as a white adipose tissue. For lack of better terms, the white stuff's the bad stuff. Okay. It's where the storage center is. The brown stuff is where our body actually creates heat.
Okay.
As we age and all these changes are taking place, especially if we're not working out on a regular basis, that brown adipose tissue has a tendency to kind of slow down its production and stop burning calories. In fact, it can be upwards to 10% of your calories by the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
Right? So oftentimes it's critical that we wake those up. Okay? So a couple of things, believe it or not, obviously working out on a regular basis does a great job. Exposure to cold actually is a beneficial factor.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yep.
Okay.
So, but one of the other things too, we actually found that green tea is like a component that actually works well. Green tea consumed on a long-term basis actually helps with the thermogenic activity in the body. Nice. So does most caffeine substances, but they're intermittent. They're kind of hit and miss, but it's a good way to kind of kick your metabolism going. All right. So I actually brought a formula called Metabolism.
Okay.
That actually has green coffee bean extract in it as well as green tea in it, and actually designed to help to manage those insulin levels and also create a thermogenic balance in the body, so you're actually creating more heat. And there's also some herbs and things in there that kind of help to get the thyroid active as well too, because the thyroid's part of this program.
Okay.
Okay. Fun? Yeah?
Yeah.
You with me so far?
Oh, so
far, so good, right? By the way, if you really want to get hot, take some cayenne pepper filled formulas.
Oh, no.
This stuff will make you sweat like no tomorrow.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Great formula if you just feel like you don't sweat, you feel like you want to activate that thermogenic process. I started experimenting with cayenne pepper probably 30, 40 years ago. I live by Mount Riverdale here, right? So I thought, I'm going to take a tablespoon of cayenne pepper because it's good for fat burning. I'm going to ride my mountain bike up and down like for 20 or 30 minutes and then just come home and just sweat. So like in the middle of the summer, I'm just profusely sweating. So what the problem was with a tablespoon of cayenne pepper, it's hot and there's a lot of it. Literally, the dosage in here, the amount that they do, they've extracted the component that makes you sweat and put it into a very small thing. It's literally like a quarter teaspoon. And you just sweat like a pig.
Oh my God.
Crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But it works. That's awesome.
It does work.
Yeah.
So now let's do this. Let's balance the estrogen. Okay? So as we get older, those estrogen balances, and for years, women in different cultures have used all sorts of different things. They've used Dong Quai, they've used black cohosh, they've used all these different types of herbs that help to balance that estrogen. Okay, especially as we get older. EstroSense by Natural Factors, created by a woman, for women, specifically for longevity as well as for weight loss and things of that nature, and just kind of getting the body back in check.
Nice.
It's a great formula.
Yeah, EstroSense. Hormone balancing promotes healthy estrogen balance during PMS or menopause.
Right. Makes
Nice.
sense.
So,
Sorry.
so you don't
Bad
need to.
pun.
Funny.
So yeah, so what you'll notice in there is a bunch of different herbs that are in there, such as black cohosh, there's milk thistle, a bunch of different things. And what's weird about estrogen, as the body builds estrogen up, the place to get rid of estrogen is the liver.
Okay.
Kind of weird, right? The liver is the breakdown facility. So there's herbs in there that are specific for that, kind of help to modulate the estrogen.
So this is not only, this is great for weight loss because then it balances the hormones.
Right. And
But
it's
it probably
long-term.
balances your moods. And
Right, exactly. So remember, this is a
everything.
long-term project. I wouldn't say, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to get like perfect shape in like 12 days or whatever the case. We need to look longevity, like 6 months, 8 months, a year. One of the things that happens too with females is when they start lifting weights, a lot of times what happens is the scale actually goes up.
Yeah, because muscle weighs more than fat.
Right.
So
but as the muscle goes up, the fat goes down, and the clothes fit better.
Yeah, you actually go down. That's why they say it's not good to weigh yourself all the time because of that. Especially with water weight, and then when your muscle is going to weigh more than the fat. So.
Trained at a gym in Studio City, right? His name was Vince Gironda. They call him the Iron Guru. Trained all the stars, all the different people were always up there when I went up there. Named the star back in the 70s and 80s, and they were there, right? Had contracts by ABC, NBC, CBS, right? They would literally send their stars over and say, hey, this person, whoever they were, needs to be in shape in the next 6 or 8 weeks. So he would do things that were drastic measures to make that happen. But ultimately, at the same time, they worked out there to stay in shape to be able to do their modeling gigs and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
All right? So ultimately, when it came down to it, he was this guy that was always pushing, you know what? The scale isn't here. It's in the trash can. Look in the mirror, and if you don't like what you see, then let's keep doing what we need to do to make the change.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he goes, I have no scale in the gym purposely. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because what does the scale do? You walk down the beach, someone goes, oh, you look good. Great. They don't go, how much do you weigh? How big is your head? How big is your wrist? You know, they don't ask you that stuff, right? They don't ask you that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a visual conception. We basically, cosmetically speaking, a physique is cosmetic. So if we can actually make those adjustments and change our physique, people see it and go, oh my gosh, you look this way or you look that way, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So workout's got to be consistent. Got to stay consistent with the workout, right?
Okay. How many times a week would you say?
So that's a great question. I think 5 times a week is really good, but I think it would vary. I told you I was going to challenge you a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm ready. Right. I'm ready for the challenge.
All right. So I brought a couple different things. I brought this. This is a full body workout. It's 3 days a week.
Okay.
You have to do 8 sets of 8 reps on all the exercises that are listed unless otherwise noted.
Okay.
It takes literally an hour to do this, and when you're done, you're sweating like a pig.
Okay.
Okay, and it's literally a physique changer. It's one of the things that Vince would use for all the different people up there. He taught it to me. I used it for years, and off and on ever since I was like 20 some odd years old, right? Or 18 years old, right? So this is all laid out for you. Kind of gives you a little history about it. Talks about the different stars and people that he actually worked with and things of that nature. Okay, so you're going to work out with this, and then in between, so let's say this is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. It's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or whatever days work for you.
Okay.
Then 2 days a week in between, you're going to do like 30 minutes of cardio. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you're going to do.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
That probably tweaks your brain, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Seems less than what you normally would do.
Oh, yeah. It's what, Friday? I spent probably already 16 hours at the gym this week.
Right. So we just cut it in half.
Yeah.
So do an hour. So that's 5 hours a week. And then if you want to walk at night, that's fine. You can walk at night. It's hard.
Okay.
It's one of the most hardest workouts. So here's the deal. You're in shape. Somebody else that needs to be in shape probably needs to check with their doctor, things of that nature. And it's going to be a long time before they can actually do this kind of a workout. So here's the deal. There's no rest between sets.
Oh, no rest.
So as you finish one exercise, you move on to the next. Then you move on to the next. Then you move on to the next. Then you keep going through it. So, as you know, they call it circuit training. So the idea is to rest no more than 30 seconds in between.
Okay.
About the time it takes you to get up, go to the next thing and do it. That means your weights are going to have to stay light all the way throughout the whole thing.
Okay. So keep the weights light.
Do not try to go heavy. Go nice and light and steady and stay with it.
And it's just 3 days. And
3 days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 2 days cardio in between. All right. Let's talk diet. Okay. So we're talking diet. What are we doing diet-wise? Do we have an idea? Do we have anything we're doing, or just trying to eat healthy?
Yeah. It's been... So I'm really into that blood type diet.
Right.
So I look at what my blood type, like what's the best
What's your blood type? O?
A.
A. So you're like me, you're A.
A plus.
A plus. All right, cool.
A positive. I'm just kidding. Yeah. That was a joke. That was my
that's a good joke.
This show.
A plus.
But basically what I recently started doing is I started meal prepping.
Okay.
And so when I go out for the day, I have my bag of snacks and food, and everything's pretty healthy.
Right.
And so that's kind of been my
your go-to.
my dieting or.
Okay, so you know what foods do well for your body then, right?
Yeah.
You're basing it on the blood type. And so typically the blood type's a little bit more kind of vegetarian leaning in some respects,
yes.
right? All right, so and your protein choices are maybe a little bit of milk, or then mostly vegetable type source proteins and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your diet.
Oh, you gave me a diet too?
Yeah.
Watch out.
It's called the cut up carb rotation diet.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle carbs around the times that your body needs it to either get ready for a workout or recover after a workout.
Okay.
The rest of the time, what we're going to do is we're going to go a little bit higher in proteins, things of that nature. So you can use your vegetable proteins or whatever you need to do to tweak it.
Okay.
And this is what it kind of looks like. Obviously you don't use eggs, so maybe we can use something in place of it.
Yeah.
So then day 2.
I do. I still eat eggs, but
Okay.
I also I get the substitute eggs at Clark's.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
I can't remember the name right now, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, there's a day 1, day 2, and then there's basically your alternating days back and forth. Mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon, dinner, and typically a snack break that's like 6-7 times a day you're eating.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
The idea in the diet is to kind of balance it out. If any one of our listeners wants the copy of this, we can send it out to them.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Who should they email? So if you guys are...
They can email me, Starkie, Starkie, like a girl, at clarksnutrition.com. One day I realized that my mom named me like a girl.
So yeah, if you guys want the workout or the diet plan, yeah.
So I've worked with this with a lot of different athletes throughout the years and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So we'll finalize it this. A lady came in one time to the store. She was 30 years old, okay? And she says, I'm a model, and basically I can't get any model gigs anymore because everyone says I look too old. I go, well, yeah, you're old. You're 30 years old. And I teased him with her, obviously.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, they say I'm too old, I'm out of shape, and I'm fat. Well, how much do you weigh? She weighs like 125 pounds or 130 pounds, and she was like 5'8".
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not fat, obviously. But what had happened is we started digging in, found out she was eating 1,000 calories a year off and on for years. She would like starve down, do all these things that the models do. So we checked her body fat percentage was 34%.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's really high.
So her physique had completely changed, right?
Uh-huh.
I said, you're going to have to trust me. We did something similar to this, exactly what I drew out for you.
Uh-huh.
And so what happened was after I said, she goes, I have a gig in 8 weeks and they're going to tell me whether I can model or not. I said, okay, well, it's not that much time, but let's do it. 8 weeks later, body fat was down about 20%. She got the gig and said, I learned my lesson. I'm good. 2,000 calories a day and here we roll.
Wow.
Turned it into a fat burning machine.
I love that.
Okay? Challenge.
So you can change your body. It's
called physique augmentation. So we're going to work a couple things. We're going to help with the metabolism. We're going to use the PGX for helping with that. The other thing we're going to do is estrogens to balance the hormones. Mm-hmm. And we're going to basically kind of set us up on the diet and the exercise plan and see what we can do.
Perfect.
Female muscle is like male muscle. It's obviously going to create heat and things of that nature. Uh-huh. Body fats are obviously different for a reason, but the biggest thing for females, I think, is the estrogen balance becomes a critical issue, as well as the insulin balance. Okay, mm-hmm. So, and then let's not do too much, because typically what happens is we burn out. We get in, we focus, we think we do it. We want a lifestyle that's going to last a long period of time, mm-hmm. not a short period of time.
Right. Exactly.
Challenge is up.
Wow. Let's do this.
All right.
I'm up for it.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening in. Any last comments, Jessica?
No, this is awesome. And thank you for all this amazing information.
Yeah,
always.
No worries. All right, cool.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
And listening. All right.
Listening,
and
yes.
listening.
Thank you guys for joining us today on our Mission Nutrition podcast, the official Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market podcast. We've got another exciting episode for you next week, so be sure to review, subscribe, follow us, and stay connected.
Absolutely. Be part of it. We've got so much we're going to share with you. It's going to be an amazing ride.
We'll see you next time.